Hi everybody, welcome back to Simply Loved for our third week together. My name is Kate Haas. I'm the Kids Ministry Director at Restoration Church, and
my name's Diana Peshin, and I run Little Blessings Preschool here at Restoration.
So as we get ready for our third week, we want to make sure you take out your Legos or your Play-Doh. Tonight's activity is you're going to be making fruit. Okay, so I made a plum and an apple out of the Legos.
And I made a pear and an apple.
So take your Legos or your Play-Doh and take a couple minutes to make some fruit. Maybe you can even start thinking about what story might go with these objects. Have some fun.
See you soon.
Welcome back. Make sure you put your Play-Doh and your Legos away as we get started, and you can stand up because we are going to start by singing a song together. It is such good news that God always loves us, and that is our Bible point for this month as we are learning our stories. Our Bible point is that God always loves us, and don't forget that every time you hear God always loves us, you need to go, wow, God. So let's practice again. God always loves us. Wow, God. This month, our Bible buddy is Savannah the giraffe, and it is time for us to learn another really cool fact about giraffes. Today's question is about a giraffe's heart. So I want you to think, do you think, is a giraffe's heart 6 inches, which is about, it's from here to here on me, so about this, okay, 6 inches big, or is it 2 feet big? So think about that. Do you think it's 6 inches big, or do you think it's 2 feet big? How big is a giraffe's heart? All right, drum roll. A giraffe's heart is 2 feet big. And that actually kind of makes sense because they are really tall animals, and think about how long their necks are. They have to have a really big, strong heart to be able to pump the blood all the way up their neck to their head to keep it moving throughout their whole body.
Hey there, friends. I'm Savannah, and I'm a giraffe. I'm the tallest mammal in the world. I've got a big heart. No, really I do. My heart is 2 feet long, and it weighs about 25 pounds. That's about how much a 2-year-old child weighs. It takes a lot of food to fill me up, so I spend most of my day eating. My tongue helps me grab tasty leaves and pull them right off the trees. God made my tongue in a special way. It's colorful, see? My tongue's a special color. It's kind of blue. Ew. That way, it won't get sunburned when I'm grabbing my snack. Yum. My long tongue acts kind of like your fingers. It helps me pluck the leaves off the tree branches. But it's hard to take a really big bite, so I just keep munching through the day. Friends, my long tongue and my big heart don't even begin to measure up to God's massive love for us. In the Bible, book of Ephesians, chapter 3, verse 18, it says, "And may you have the power to understand, as all God's people should, how wide, how long, how high, and how deep His love is." In the Bible, we read about Adam and Eve eating from a tree in the Garden of Eden. Let me tell you, they didn't eat tasty leaves. Adam and Eve both ate fruit from a tree God said was off limits. A sneaky snake told Adam and Eve they could disobey God and do what they wanted to do instead of what God wanted. That's sin. Adam and Eve's sinful choice could have separated them from God forever. But guess what? God still loved them and took care of them. We all make bad choices sometimes. Sometimes we're mean instead of nice. Sometimes we don't listen. Sometimes we want our own way. We want to be in charge. But no matter what, God still loves us. His heart is bigger than mine, and it's filled with love for you. God sent His only Son, Jesus, to forgive our sin and to be our forever friend. We can always talk to Jesus, and He'll help us choose God's way. How amazing is that? I'm so glad God always loves us.
All right, let's do a review of our Bible verse for this month. So don't forget, we want to make sure you stand up and have your hands ready to go as we do this together. So here we go. And may you have the power to understand, as all God's people do, how wide, how long, how high, and how deep His love is. Let's try it one more time. And may you have the power to understand, as all God's people do, how wide, how long, how high, and how deep His love is. Ephesians 3:18. God's love is so big. It reaches us when we make good choices. It reaches us when we make bad choices. And that is a thing to celebrate, that God's love is always for us. So in our way to celebrate, why don't you stand up, and we're going to sing one more song together before we head over to our Bible story.
Come on, clap your hands. Here we go. That's it. Here to spread the love of God to everyone. Gonna get a little crazy, yeah, a little wild. Here we go now, come give it a try. Move it to the left now. Move it to the right. Find someone you don't know and give them a high five. Stomp your feet louder. Yeah, you guys are doing awesome. Wave your hands up high. Somebody else now and give them a high five. Let's go. Oh, 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 oh,
Hi friends! Today's Bible story tells us about something very sad that God's first friends Adam and Eve did. But God still loved them. God is a really good friend to us, no matter what. God always loves us. Wow, God! But our story today begins with a sneaky snake who pretended to be friends with Adam and Eve. Our story today is a story that is told by Eve. Give a listen. My name is Eve. My husband Adam and I lived in this beautiful garden called Eden. It's full of lush green trees, soft grass, and lots of tasty things to eat. It's perfect. Eden had everything I could ever need. Everything? Said a voice from behind me. I turned and saw a snake coiled around a branch. He was a handsome creature with sharp eyes. He looked very smart. Pardon me for interrupting, said the snake, but you don't have everything you could ever want. I said, I have a soft place to sleep, a man who loves me, and I never go hungry. God has given me everything I need. What about that big fruit tree in the middle of the garden? The snake asked. I got a little knot in my stomach thinking about that tree. God said, if we eat that fruit, we will die, I said. The snake laughed. Then he slithered closer and whispered, that's silly. God knows you won't die. He also knows it's the best fruit in the garden. The best fruit, I wondered? Is that true? Oh, yes. God didn't tell you the special secret about that tree. If you eat its fruit, you'll see amazing things. You'll be able to tell good from evil, just like God himself. Wouldn't it be wonderful to be like God? Said the snake. Wow, I thought. God is super powerful, and he's very wise. I wanted to be wise and powerful just like God. And that fruit did look delicious. It made my mouth water just thinking about it. How about one little bite, hissed the snake. Just a taste. The choice is yours. I couldn't take my eyes off that fruit. If I didn't try the fruit, I wouldn't be able to think about anything else for the rest of my life. So I took some of the fruit and had a bite. It was so good. I called to my husband, Adam, you have to try this. What is it? He asked. It's the fruit from the tree in the middle of the garden. It's the best thing I ever tasted, I told him. But isn't that the tree we aren't supposed to eat from? Adam asked, looking around nervously. I took a bite and I didn't die, I said. So Adam closed his eyes and took a bite too. I couldn't wait for his reaction. But when Adam opened his eyes, he looked afraid. He covered his face and tried to hide. In an instant, we both knew we had made the wrong choice. We felt so ashamed. After that, God kicked us out of his beautiful garden. Even though God still cared about us, our life got really, really hard. I sure wish I had made the right choice and obeyed God. I am so ashamed. I had everything going for me and I blew it. I can't blame the snake, not really. God had told me what was right and wrong, but I thought I knew better. Sometimes our choices are fun and easy, but sometimes making the right choice isn't easy. I learned that the hard way. Thankfully, God still loves me anyway. In spite of our wrong choices, God's love for us never stops. Start again. God found Adam and Eve and asked them what they had done. They had chosen what they wanted to do instead of what God wanted them to do. They wanted to be in charge instead of letting God be in charge, and that's just not good. Sin is choosing our way instead of God's way, and that gets in the way of our friendship with God. Adam and Eve had to leave their beautiful garden, but God still loved them and he took care of them. They were still his special creatures. God always loves us. Wow, God!
Welcome back. So I just want to remind you that even when we want to do our own thing and go our own way and be in charge, God always loves us. Wow, God! There is nothing that we can do to get rid of the sin in our lives. Sin is like a sickness and it leads to our death and keeps us separated from God. But love is what makes the difference. God's love for us, he sent Jesus to make that difference so that we can live forever with him and have our sins forgiven. Let's take a moment to review our Bible verse one more time. Here we go. Make sure you're standing up and your hands are ready. And may you have the power to understand, as all God's people do, how wide, how long, how high, and how deep His love is. Ephesians 3:18.
Everything He does, He keeps His promises, we know, because, yeah, the word of the Lord holds true. We can trust Him, we can trust Him, yeah, the word of the Lord holds true. We can trust Him, we can trust Him, yeah. Oh, yeah. One thing we can count on, it's God will never let us down, and we can trust everything He does. He keeps His promises, we know, because, yeah, the word of the Lord holds true. We can trust Him, we can trust Him, yeah, the word of the Lord holds true. We can trust Him, we can trust Him. Yeah, the word of the Lord holds true. We can trust Him. We can trust Him. Yeah, the word of the Lord holds true. We can trust Him. We can trust Him. We can trust Him. We can trust Him.
Friends, Jesus always has your back. He is a friend that you can always count on, that you can lean against when you need support. So when I read this next thing to you, I want you to sit down on the ground. If you have somebody else with you, put your back against their back and lean up against each other. If you're the only one listening right now, you can even sit on the floor and lean against like a chair or a couch or something like that, so that you can feel that support behind you as I read this to you. Sometimes you want to be in charge. You want to pick the game, claim the biggest cookie, call the shots. But the truth is that when it comes to the big stuff, Jesus is in charge. And that's a good thing. It's the best thing. That's because Jesus is a friend who sticks with you, who stays close when bullies show up, your parents fight, or you have problems at school. Plus, He's the all-powerful, all-wise Creator. Exactly the sort of friend that you need in your corner. Even when we try to be in charge, He loves us. Even when we forget about Him for a while, He sticks by our side, always calling us back into friendship. So relax, you're safe. Jesus has your back. All right, thank you for joining us again for Simply Loved. Before you finish tonight, make sure you take out your paper. You either have this, which I just read from. You can make a paper airplane out of it, or
There's a nice coloring sheet that has our sneaky snake that was not friends with Adam and Eve for you to color tonight.
all right. We hope to see you again next week. Remember, we premiere on Wednesday evenings, but you can watch this whenever you would like. And don't forget that God always loves us.
Wow,
Oh,
God